reports are coming out that are saying that Jay and Rock Nation have been tied to money laundering allegations. The article says Jay-Z's Rock Nation and Caesar Casino proposal faces scrutiny amid serious allegations. Jay-Z's Rock Nation put up a proposal, a $5 billion proposal with Caesar's Palace or Caesar's Entertainment, and SL Green. It says the ambitious $5 billion proposal for the casino in Times Square, backed by Jay-Z's Rock Nation, is under intense scrutiny following the serious allegations of criminal activity against Rock Nation. Critics are questioning the wisdom of Caesar Entertainment's partnership with the company now associated with claims of money laundering, racketeering, and human trafficking. Serious allegations against Jay-Z's Rock Nation are here. Recent legal filings have brought to light troubling accusations against Rock Nation, including a lawsuit by Terrence Dixon, which alleges that the company has engaged in a pattern of criminal behavior. The lawsuit details claims of money laundering and racketeering, suggesting that Rock Nation personnel coordinated financial cover-ups and laundered illicit proceeds through corporate accounts. This has raised alarms among community members and stakeholders regarding the potential implications for the proposed casino. It says Rock Nation CEO demands sanctions against her own daughter and the daughter's husband over ruthless social media campaign. So she's going at her own daughter, and her daughter's going at her for whatever reason. So the article says that the daughter filed a lawsuit against Desiree Perez, accusing her mother of abusing the legal system in Florida to strip her freedom and damage her family life. According to the complaint, the daughter alleges that Perez manipulated authorities into detaining her under both the Baker Act and the Marchman Act, statutes designed for people facing mental health crisis or substance abuse issues. So basically, she's saying my mom had me committed to a mental health facility when I had no mental health issues. And we see a lot of this. We've heard these stories in politics and in these crazy situations where we just got to make this person look crazy. So the daughter is saying my mom had me falsely committed to mental health facilities to discredit me. The daughter said she spent weeks confined in psychiatric facilities, even though drug screenings came back completely negative. She also accused her mother of targeting her personal life, alleging that Desiree Perez fabricated stories of domestic violence to interfere with her marriage. So I don't know if her mom, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Desiree is against her daughter's marriage or what. It says in a filing in August, Desiree Perez's legal team, fired back, arguing that that her daughter and daughter husband, the Hadleys, abused the court system by filing documents filled with falsehoods, including claims that she was tied to a Mexican drug cartel and had planted a bug in their bedroom. Have you ever heard a story of somebody accusing their mother of being tied to a Mexican drug cartel? Only on the Ozarks have I heard this story. This is a commercial. This whole live stream is a commercial for Go Watch the Ozarks. Good show. Salute to Jason Bateman. So she accused her mom in the court filings of being tied to a Mexican drug cartel and planting bugs in her bedrooms. The motion cited phone calls recorded while her husband, the daughter's husband, was in jail, where he allegedly discussed using the lawsuit and media pressure to secure a financial settlement. In one call, it was reported that he said, where did it go? It was reported that he said, we're going to make her settle. It's a payday. So I don't know what you guys take from all that, but what I take from it is it's a little bit weird that Desiree Perez has her daughter accusing her of working with a Mexican drug cartel, and this casino bid is being reported with Jay-Z and Desiree Perez and all these people at Rock Nation that they're being denied secretly behind the scenes because y'all involved in y'all got some investigations going on that we a little bit scared to put our name on. And then if you look at the history of who Desiree Perez is, and she was recently pardoned by Donald Trump, got a presidential pardon, says she was arrested in 1994 for possession of 35 kilos of cocaine with intent to distribute, and again in 1998 for grand larceny and possession of a firearm. Now she has close ties with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Tell me, I don't know. Now, I guess she's married to one of Jay-Z's best friends, Juan Perez. and she's the wife. Somehow she got the CEO position. The article says Perez was a 26-year-old mother, so she wasn't a kid. She was 26 years old when she was arrested in New York for possession with intent to distribute 35 keys of cocaine. This is a report from the New York Daily News, by the way. Federal authorities charged she was part of a drug conspiracy stretching from New York to Florida to Puerto Rico. She and the co-defendant, Amari Lopez, faced at least 10 years in prison. Lopez was supposedly one of at least three men to marry Perez in the late 1980s, but Perez cooperated. In return for telling the DEA everything and putting herself at substantial risk, as one prosecutor put it, she was sentenced to 30 months in a military-style boot camp training program in 1995. So basically, the article is saying she snitched. She snitched on whoever she was working with and whoever she was carrying those 35 keys for. And they gave her 33 years in a military boot camp instead of going to jail for 10 years in prison. Many of the records in Perez's case were sealed soon after her arrest because she became an informant at that point, allegedly. But we'll get into that. Said her case was sealed after her arrest. Said, but one transcript from a June 11, 1996 court hearing obtained by the news shows the feds were pleased with her star mole, or with their star mole. So she became a star informant for the feds, according to that. The defendant has really worked closely with these agents. This is a quote from the assistant U.S. attorney, Lawrence Barfeld. And he told a judge that day, arguing to keep Perez out of jail. So she had the U.S. attorney, assistant U.S. attorney, saying that, she did really good work and she worked closely with the agents and helped put a lot of people away. Miami-based defense attorney Alan Ross told the judge that his client, quote, wore a wire on no less than 4 or 5 occasions when she's been down in Puerto Rico. So she wore a wire in Puerto Rico. She was an informant, according to the court documents in this report. Quote, and I think the court knows from its experience that you just can't do anything any more dangerous than wear a wire and go into an undercover meeting in Puerto Rico with a known violator, one who's suspected of being investigated for a murder case down there. The transcript describes how a mutual regard and respect developed between Perez and the DEA special agents she worked with to bust Colombians moving cocaine shipments of 50 to 100 kilograms, 50 to 100 keys. Crazy stuff, man. The quote says she has gone the extra mile. They say she is super informant. She's going the extra mile. She bringing us stuff we didn't even ask for. So the U.S. attorney said that he believed the defendant was fully rehabilitated because of this. Perez was released that July and placed on 5-year supervised release. She began working at night spots in Miami Beach and was scheduled to meet her probation officer at one of them, Club Onyx, when she skipped town without notice in early August 1997. She then resurfaced 9 months later in Brooklyn, where she was arrested in 1998. She was charged with grand larceny, criminal use of a drug, paraphernalia, and criminal possession of a firearm. So she just went back to crime right after. Her probation was revoked and she was sentenced to 9 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release. The DEA special agent from the case, contacted by the news, declined to comment. But lawyer Ross said he was not surprised by Perez's career turnaround. He said she's a stunning and bright woman and a very smart lady. Perez appears to have been in business with Jay-Z since 2002, helping the rapper run his 40/40 club in Las Vegas. That year, the club's liquor license application listed Desiree Perez's father, Epifano Gonzalez of the Bronx, as a president, director, and a 50% stockholder in the club. So she didn't put it in her name. She put it in her dad's name, is what they're saying. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, owned the other 50%. So right there, now you see why there's that tie between Jay-Z, the cartel, Desiree Perez, and why the Roc Nation being the frontmen and the front runners for this casino bid why people may have some reservations about it when they start doing the background checks and who is these people and, you know, who does Jay got working for him. He got with this former cartel woman after in 4 years after she came, or I'm sorry, because she went to jail in 1998, and they said that she went to jail for 9 months, prison for 9 months, and then she had 3 years of supervised release, and then she started working with Jay-Z right after she got off probation. You get off parole and you work with Jay-Z immediately. 9 months is a year, essentially. Then you do another 3 years of parole or felony probation. And then, so that's 1998, 9 months, 1999. 3 years of probation, 2000, 2001, 2002. The article says Perez appears to have been in business with Jay-Z since at least 2002, helping the rapper run his 40/40 club in Las Vegas. How did you go from drug dealing, 50 to 100 kilos, you moving them, informing on all these people, going back to crime, getting caught with a gun, then you in Brooklyn getting caught with a gun, then you go to jail for 9 months, then 3 years of probation, then you come out and now your dad is a 50% owner and you're doing business with Jay-Z. It just don't make sense, right? So it says she was ultimately joined there by her current husband, Juan Perez, the president of Roc Nation Sports, and another partner in the sports bar chain. So it seems like Desiree Perez is the one that set up these, like, I'm gonna put my husband over here, I'm gonna put my dad as the owner of this, and I'm gonna work with Jay, and he's gonna be the face of it. It seemed like she's the real brains behind this whole operation. To be real with you, when you look at the situation, I mean, you guys reading what I'm reading, you seeing what I'm seeing. That's what it looks like. Jay-Z rapped the line, said, "Catch me with the X with OG at a Yankee game." Juan Perez's nickname is OG. "I made the Yankee hat more famous than the Yankee can." By 2003, the Perez's were operators of the 40/40 Club on 25th Street in Manhattan, Jay-Z's nightclub, which we perceived to be Jay-Z's nightclub, but now it seems like it was Desiree Perez and Juan and Desiree Perez's dad's nightclub. Jay was given 50% to be the face of it, it looks like. It says it's a trendy club named for the exclusive group of players, including Rodriguez, who achieved the rare feat of hitting 40 home runs, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Perez soon became one of the most trusted members of Jay-Z's entourage. She is a part of international pop star Rihanna's management team and has been photographed partying with Beyonce. This is why people feel like it's money laundering going on behind the scenes. The timeline of how quick she got, how do you just get this relationship with Jay-Z and Beyonce and all these people? You owning and running and operating all these businesses that Jay-Z are the face of. We thinking Jay-Z and his team are running it, but you the team behind it for the last 25 years running this stuff. I think it's all interesting information. It's all worth we don't know anything. But when you look at the information, it's like, okay, yeah, I can see why somebody would say, nah, we're not about to give you another money laundering front. They might feel that you guys are using these two nightclubs, the 40/40 Club in Vegas and New York and Manhattan, to launder money. And then now you're trying to, if you're using Roc Nation to launder money, now you're trying to get a casino so you can launder money at the highest level. We're not going to allow that to happen. So maybe that's what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know, but maybe that's the case. Jay formed Roc Nation Sports and began representing pro athletes. Baseball insiders say that Perez was an important voice in the business from the beginning. So even in the sports division, Desiree Perez is running things. She running everything? She got ownership of everything? It's a little weird. All these things added up. You guys can see when you look at the whole story and you take it in its full context, you can probably understand why the Community Advisory Committee did not want to vote for Jay-Z to get that casino, because it wasn't so much about Jay-Z as they was voting against Desiree Perez and say, hey, this is some money laundering crap. We don't want to be involved with this. This looks weird. And for that reason, the casino was denied.